Hey, it's great to be with you again today. If you could meet anybody in the history of the world, who would you want to meet? Who would you want to sit down and have lunch with, right? Just hang out, talk, get to know them a little bit. And there's lots of people that we could fill in the blanks. I've heard people say like George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Einstein. He would be cool, right? And then other people, Walt Disney, right? I've heard all kinds of names over the years. Somebody said, I would love to meet the President of the United States. Sit down and just have a talk with the President of the United States, any President of the United States. And one of the things that came up in the conversation was like, well, how would you get, dressed? What would you wear to lunch? And they're like, oh man, I'd wear like my suit, I'd put my tie on, my suit, my best suit, make sure my hair was all, get a haircut, looking good, make sure I'm all, right? And I started to think about that. And I'm like, so many times I've heard that question. I'm like, well, I'd really like to sit down and talk to Jesus. And then it came into my head again, well, what would you wear? What would you wear if you had the chance to sit down and just talk with Jesus? And I'm like, if I know Jesus, I think like if it was in the wintertime, I'd wear a sweatshirt and jeans. And if it was in the summer, maybe, a pair of shorts and a t-shirt and some flip-flops, because I think that's what he would wear. As I look back through scriptures, Jesus, he didn't get dressed up, right? He wore a robe. He wore some flip-flops. And the guys that he kind of criticized were the Pharisees, the ones who wore these ornate robes with these hats that were awesome looking, that had these tassels, and the robes had tassels, and they flowed, and these awesome tassels and everything that were around the bottom just like drug on the ground, and people would see these immaculately clothed rabbis walking down the streets and be like, wow, look at the status they have because they are so well dressed and they're awesome. And Jesus comes out and he's got an old robe on and some flip-flops, and he walks down the street and he goes and he hangs out with some smelly fishermen, and then he goes to a hated tax collector, not just one, but at least two, Matthew and Zacchaeus, right? And he goes and he pardons a woman who's caught in the act of adultery, and he casts some demons out of some outcasts, and he handles and heals some lepers, and he raises a dead guy. And I don't think Jesus really cares what we wear. And that goes for Sunday mornings, right? If somebody says you got to wear a suit to church, well, I think we can all choose what we want to wear to church, right? If I want to wear a suit, I can wear a suit. If I want to wear shorts and t-shirt and flip-flops, I think Jesus might smile about that. As we go through our days, hopefully, we don't look at others and judge them for the clothing that they wear, because Jesus, well, he just wore what he had. May God continue to pour out his grace, mercy, and blessings on each and every one of us until we get to meet again. Amen? Amen.